So, Heavenly Father, Lord Almighty, we thank you for bringing us to the webinar, Dressing for Instant Style. Lord, we are here to learn how to be beautiful in your eyes, to know that we're beautiful, to accept the beauty that you make us, Lord. I ask you to touch each of us in our hearts with something amazing and powerful. Help us embrace all that you've made us to be. Be with our speaker, Jill, as she shares about how we can dress ourselves for style and instant. What a great word that is, Lord. And I thank you for this technology that allows us to reach out to so many people all over. And I'm also praying, Lord, for the people that will be watching this recording afterwards. So, Lord, we thank you. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen. So, again, it is my pleasure. I'm Helen Barada, Director of Development, to introduce to you Jill Swanson. She is a Christian image consultant. She is an author, and she's going to rock your wardrobe. That's so true. I made a special trip to Rochester, Minnesota last month and spent the whole day with Jill and hired her as my personal image consultant. And she helped me with my makeup. I got a new hairstyle. She taught me what clothes looked best on my individual shape and size. She even took me shopping, and she was my personal shopper. She was the one looking through, and we went to consignment shops and thrift stores, and I got a lot of clothes for a little bit of money. Thank you, Jill. So I have to say, it was one of the most encouraging days that I've had so far in 2017. She really helped me embrace how God made me and showed me how to look my best in all different kinds of situations. So anyway, Jill has a style consulting business, and she specializes in teaching people how to dress without stress and go from stagnant to stunning in a snap. Ooh, who doesn't want that? Her goal is to help women clarify, simplify, and modify their personal style while discovering the powerful language behind clothes and colors. She's also, I happen to have on my shelf, the author of Simply Beautiful, Inside and Out. And she is also has Out the Door in 15 Minutes. She has a really cool DVD that I use I do women's retreats called Marvelous Makeover. For some of you guys know I've been made over. I use a lot of Jill's stuff to help me in my women's retreat stuff. So she has a lot of resources. And then even more exciting, out in March is a new book she's working on. And the working title is Simple, Smart, and Stylish. So it is my pleasure to introduce Jill Swanson.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. I am so anxious to get started and to hear the questions we have from everyone. And what a wonderful introduction. Thank you so very much, Helen. And I had a ball working with her. There's some people that have just got a teachable spirit, and I can guarantee you, Helen is one of those people.
Very cool, Jill. Well, I know one of the things Jill wanted us to do is to use a poll, like get us started. So here's a way that you all can get engaged with us. So the first poll we're going to do is, how do you pick your outfit? So I'm going to launch the poll, and that is going to give you, each of you are going to have to click and say, I want to take the poll, and then you have to pick one thing. So do you lay everything out the night before? Clothes, shoes, jewelry, purse? Sorry, I see a typo. Do you dig in your closet until you find something? Do you throw on whatever happens to be clean? Or do you wear what you went to bed in last night? That could be one too. So pick what it is. What is your go-to when you're picking an outfit for the day? So looks like a lot of people are doing one thing, Jill, so far, it looks like to me. So we have almost 85% of the people. This was an easy poll, apparently. It was real easy for them to answer. So it looks like you're Jilly. She's in. She wants to see what your responses are. She's checking it out. All right. I'm going to give you 10 more seconds to finish up. We got 90% of the people have voted. So let's see. If you can't decide, just pick one. But no, not one person is wearing what they got out of bed in. I guess I'm happy to hear that. So, all right. I'm going to end the poll now. So thank you all who voted. of the people voted. Way to go. So I'm going to share the results so everybody can see.
Wow.
So if you look on your screen, you'll see 74% of the people are digging in their closet until they find something. And then the next people, we have a 14% of the people are prepared and laying it out the night before. I'm pretty impressed with that. And then throw over whatever is clean. We got 11%. And not one person wore what they went to bed with that. So thank goodness for that, Jill. All right.
Although I have to say, there is one advantage to that. I used to do this before, not as much now, but I would wear my workout clothes to bed because the first thing I did in the morning was get up and work out. And then I had them on. I didn't have to worry about it. So just a thought, in case there is somebody out there who was too embarrassed to put that down, it's okay. If it's your workout clothes, you can wear them to bed, wear them the next morning, but please change out of them after you're done working out. But let's address this digging in the closet business. How many of us swing open those closet doors and find ourselves saying, I have a closet full of clothes and nothing to wear? We've all been there. We've all done it. So let me give you some simple techniques to help you break out of that and know just what you should wear each day. And you know, it's pretty easy. You really have 4 choices to make in the morning. You can dress for function, fashion, passion, or reaction. So breaking that down, dressing for function. Let's say you've got a day and you've got a lot of running around to do. Maybe you've got errands. You might be taking care of kids for the day. Perhaps you're going to go clothes shopping. Now, there's a lot of function and action involved in clothes shopping. Anybody who's ever had to try on jeans on and off all day long knows that. So if you're going to dress for function, here's the strategy. You always dress from the floor up. Happy feet make for a happy day. So think about what's the most comfortable, easy to use shoes for that day and begin there. Then your next level up is going to be your slacks or your skirt, whatever you happen to wear on the bottom half of your body. But you want to make sure that you have plenty of room for movement in that pair that you have to pick out. This is not the day that you're going to wear your tight jeans, because if you're taking care of kids and you're trying to get down onto the floor and get back up again, you're going to find that's double the work. Have you ever worn skinny jeans to go try clothes on when you're shopping? That's a nightmare because you have to bend over and pull the ankles off every time you wear it. So dressing for function is going to be dressing from the floor up. When you're dressing for, and you want to look good for something, that's what we call dressing for fashion. And that can be your everyday at work. It can be going out with some girlfriends for lunch. It can be going to church on Sunday. But dressing for fashion, we've got a different strategy. When we dress for fashion, we're going to dress from the top down, because 2/3 of the time, people focus on the upper 1/3 of your body. This is where their eye usually stays. So anything you wear lower on the lower half of your body, most people don't notice that as much. I always tell my clients, spend more of your money on the upper half than anything else. And so we're talking about making sure your makeup looks good that day, that your hair is in decent shape, that you got a good color up by your face, some jewelry and some earrings, and you've got the battle won if you're dressing for fashion. Always dress from the top down. Your third option is dressing for passion. Now, I dress for passion more when I'm at home or doing my own thing. Maybe I'm on vacation, because dressing for fashion is really dressing who you are from the inside out. For me, that means dressing my personality. Sometimes it's a little more of a romantic, natural, earthy style that I blend together. And I do, when I work with a client, I give them personality tests to help me determine what their dressing style is. Some people are more romantic. There are people that are dramatic. There are earthy naturals. There are sporties. There's a big variety of personality types. But you probably already have an idea where you fall on this. So think in terms of what makes you feel comfortable. What is you? Now, when you're dressing for passion, the other consideration is how you feel in the clothing. Helen will attest to the fact that I was dressing for passion this morning when we did our review before we got started here, because I had on my comfortable, soft flannel shirt and my most comfortable pair of jeans. Sometimes dressing for passion is dressing what appeals to your physical sense, like what feels good on your body physically. So for me, it's the softness of a plaid shirt. The second thing is what smells good. Sometimes you're dressing your passions wearing your favorite perfume, and that'll just give you a sense of calm and peace. Sometimes dressing your passion has to do with dressing in a color that you love, that makes you feel good, that's your happy color. This is my happy color I have on today. Most people who know me, I wear a lot of orange and coral. So figure out what your favorites are, and that will be the core of your passion wardrobe. And you're going to wear those, like I said, vacation time or your alone time, stuff when you want to just mellow out. The fourth option you have is dressing for reaction. So we talked about dressing for function, that's from the floor up. Dressing for fashion, that's from the top down. Dressing for passion is from the inside out. But dressing for reaction is dressing from the outside in. That's thinking in terms of who you are going to be around that day and what kind of reaction you want to get from someone. So you want to think in terms of, how do I want to be perceived today? For instance, if you have to do a big presentation and you're very nervous about it, what I suggest you do is wear your darkest colored jacket or shirt, it could be an open shirt, with your lightest colored tank or shirt underneath it. The stronger the contrast, light and dark, the more authoritative you're going to appear. If you have a day and you know you don't want to have to talk to people, it's a busy day and you're rushing through the day. I do this oftentimes when I shop for people because I don't want to have conversations with store clerks asking me, oh, how do you get into this job? What a fun job. How do you do this? That doesn't work for me because my client's paying for my time. So I learned the best color combination to get people to leave me alone is wearing something like black and yellow together. Because what's black and yellow? Bumblebees, school buses, caution signs, things we've learned to have a pullback response to. When we wear black and yellow, people pull back away from us. They're afraid of us and oftentimes won't interrupt in our day. Now, on the other hand, you might have a day where you need to really counsel with somebody and make them feel at ease with you, and you want them to open up and feel comfortable. Then you want to think in terms of dressing for reaction from the standpoint of softer color combinations. Pink and lavender, beige and peach would be some options on that. And also consider the fabric you're wearing. The softer the fabric you have on, the more approachable you appear. The stiffer the fabric you have on, the more authoritative you appear. So there's a whole entire language behind the psychology of clothing and colors that can affect the reaction. So dressing for reaction is basically dressing from the outside in. So those are your 4 choices in the morning. Just choose what your priority is.
Cool. Well, I can attest that Jill was definitely passionately dressed in her comfy clothes earlier today. So that was very cool. And I'm dressed in a color that Jill helped me pick this color out. This is one of my colors, but I think that goes with our next quiz. So we have another poll for you. I see a few more people have arrived. So for those of you that have arrived, welcome. We're just a third of our way through our webinar with Jill Swanson. And if you have a question, you can write it in the type a Q&A, look up on your screen for Q&A, and you can type us a question. But right now we're going to take our next poll. So poll number 2 is, what is the state of your closet? So I'm launching the poll and you have to choose, you vote. You only can pick one, but it's like everything in its proper place. Maybe it's tidy, but there's never enough room. Maybe it's exploding, there's a messy explosion, and maybe it's a complete disaster and you haven't seen the back of your closet. You can't even remember when the last time you saw the back of your closet. So give us a little bit of an indication so Jill can give us some advice on where to go for our closet. So looks like we got 60% of the people voted. Maybe some people don't want to vote on this one. I don't know. They don't want to tell us their closet. They're too embarrassed to pick. But come on, give us a chance. We have some brave people even sharing that they have a disaster closet. So way to go. I have definitely had times in my life where my closet was a disaster and I was a very unhappy camper. So what about you? We have about 86%. I'm going to give it 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, I'm closing the poll. It's been open for longer than a minute. All right, here I'm going to share the results with everybody. So here, can you see we have, looks like 37% of the people say it's tidy, but there's never enough room. And then we definitely have 28% of the people, everything's in the proper place. And 26% have messy, and 10%, no surprise, or have a disaster and they haven't seen the back of their closet. So Jill, what do you think? What can you tell us about closets?
Well, first thing I can tell you about closets is the average woman wears about 20% of the clothes in her closet 80% of the time. So to kind of turn those percentages around, I'm going to give you all an assignment. I want you to, first of all, go through your closet, and I want you to get rid of, not 80%. How about if you just get rid of 20%? Go through piece by piece, and I have a technique I've used with people many times called love it or leave it. That's it. Just pick out a piece and say, do I love it or not? If I don't love it, I'm going to leave it. There's actually another form that I've used in my next book called red light, green light, yellow light. Okay, so if you have a hard time with just love it or leave it, you're not a black and white kind of person, you might want to do red light, green light, yellow light. So red light means No, I don't like it. I don't wear it. It doesn't look good on me. Excuse me a second here. Yellow light means that I'm not sure. I got to think about this a little bit. And green light means go for it. You're going to look fabulous in it. So your green lights are going to be things that you love. So let's go look at those for a second. I want you to go through your closet and pick out your 10 favorite things. Now, for some of you, that could be 10 favorite outfits. And others of you are going, right, I'll be glad if I can find one outfit I love. But I want you to go through and find 10 pieces or 10 outfits that you absolutely love. Hang on one second here. We have a little minor problem in the fact that I completely forgot to shut my phone off. So we are going to power that baby down so we don't have to use it again. Okay, so you're going to go and you're going to pick 10 things out of your closet that you love. And I want you to place those 10 things in the very first part of your closet so you can see them every day. These are things you love to wear. These are what I call your feel-good things. And so these are really the core of your closet. Anything beyond that is kind of like the add-ons, the supporting players, let's say. And you can always build into your 10 pieces, more pieces as time goes on, and you make them into outfits. But that's the first thing you need to do is figure out what's my favorite, what defines me. And that'll set you up for the next step of going through your closet, which is what I call learning to evaluate, eliminate, and accentuate. So you're going to evaluate what you have, eliminate the stuff that does not make you feel good, that makes you feel frumpy, lumpy, dumpy, or whatever other kind of umpy you can come up with. And then I want you to accentuate what you do have and build them into outfits. Now, one of my favorite techniques for going through somebody's closet is I'd like to put together outfits right from the get-go. So you've always got something to wear. And if you can even just make one outfit in your closet tonight, it will be worth the time to do it. So a great example is what I call a wardrobe on a hanger. This is one of my own personal outfits that I wore a lot this summer. What it comes down to is you can see underneath here, I have a pair of jeans. You can see the jeans are hanging on the hanger. On top of the jeans, I have a yellow tank top, which is one of my favorites. You see these necklaces hanging here? Those are the necklaces that I wear with this. And then I've got this little baseball style jacket that happens to be a print. And you see the belt that's hanging on the back. That's the belt that goes with the jeans. And this little itty bitty bag up here that's got the earrings in it, this is a complete outfit on a hanger. And I can grab one hanger and know that everything I need to wear to go to Bible study is right there on that one hanger. You might need a hanger that's got something that you wear to church on Sunday. You might need a hanger that is clothes that you would wear to go shopping in. I have a hanger that's got clothing on it that I just travel in. If I get on an airplane, I need something that I know isn't going to show the spots if I spill on myself, or something that I can easily layer and wear it. So think in terms of complete outfits instead of just the pieces in your closet. So when you go back to your perfect 10, the things that you love, start saying to yourself, do I have outfits that work around those? Chances are you probably do have some outfits that work around those already, and that's why they're part of your perfect 10. What was our other questions on that?
The other questions on that was about how just your closet, just how that was all about your closets. But I have one question. Pam Farrell wrote in and said that she had to downsize. For those of you guys that know Pam Farrell, she is a speaker and an author and travels a lot, and she moved from a house to a boat. And so she said she only has 40 inches of closet now, and Jill helped her downsize her closet. So that was pretty cool. I wanted to share, I learned the helpful hint from Jill about the whole putting it all in one hanger. And when I travel for long periods of time now that I live in Hawaii. I put my outfits together, and I have that little Ziploc. It has all the jewelry, the earrings, the necklace, everything. And I put a hole through the Ziploc and put it over the hanger. And then when I pack the outfit all together, everything. And sometimes even if it doesn't go on a hanger, I roll it all up in a little ball in my suitcase. So everything for that outfit is all in one little lump or on a hanger. So when I get to my location, I just can put my outfit right in hang it right back up so it starts to shake out its wrinkles, and I have the belt. And so I just want to say, it's not just for your closet. It can be when you travel as well. So other ideas, Jill, that you were saying about your closet, where are some places that you can get rid of stuff? I mean,
That's a good question. When I go through someone's closet and I sort through it, I usually make a couple of different piles. One is your donate pile. That's the things that are in pretty good shape and that you know that they can get worn again. And often those end up going to a mission or Salvation Army, someplace where I know that people can use them. And you can usually get a receipt for your taxes for that. The second place I take, I'll have a pile, is the clothes that are in very good condition that you can probably get money back for them. So I take a lot of clothes to consignment stores and recycle. Well, let's save the earth and recycle some of our clothing. I also buy a lot of my clothes at consignment stores. In fact, 80% of my clothing comes from a secondhand store. As I look at what I've got on today, my jacket was secondhand, my shirt was secondhand. Ivory, who's standing next to me, she's wearing a secondhand shirt and I believe a secondhand pair of pants. And at least 80% of what's hanging on the rack next to me is secondhand. So consignment stores are a great place to move your clothing on. But there are some pieces you might want to recycle. I'm often encouraging people, take the buttons off, change your buttons, or take that shirt and make it into a jacket. Or perhaps you might want to take a dress and wear that more as a shirt or a skirt by covering up one half of it. So get creative in your closet. The key is I want you to learn to shop your own closet. You'll be amazed at what's in there when you start seeing it through different eyes and you start thinking about it. I don't have to keep it the way it was.
We have another question. Pam Farrell wanted to know about hangers. Do you recommend any kind of brand or style, or are there any better than others?
I do. And now Pam's got a very small closet. So if you've got an extremely small amount of space, the felt covered hangers that have been so popular that are very flat, a lot of people like those because they take up the least amount of space. I'm one of those people that I'm always in a hurry. I do not like the felt hangers because it's very difficult to get the clothes on and off of them quickly. So in my closet, most of my hangers are this type of hanger that's got the twist top. It's like what you find in the store. So when you buy clothes at the store, always ask to keep the hanger that they've got them on, because then I don't have to worry about what way the hook goes on the clothing. I can get it in so all my clothes line up the same way on the rack, and I don't have to try to remove them and move them around on the hanger. So that's one hanger I like. The second hanger I like really well is the kind that you get at the dry cleaners. It's called a tube hanger, and this I like best for slacks because it's very quick. You just flip the slacks over the top of the hanger. Now, some people like the little clip hangers for the slacks. For me personally, I think that takes too long to take and clip each pair of slacks piece on the hanger and line them up, and it's just too much work for me. This keeps it easy, just putting it over. And these, you can get these sometimes directly from your dry cleaner by asking them, can I buy some hangers for you? I think the last time I bought them, I bought 100 for 10 cents a piece. So, and 100 hangers last a long time, so I still have those. That could be outdated now. But those are my two favorites right there. The last one that I will buy is a white tube hanger. You know what I mean? Those kind that you can buy at Walmart or Shopko or one of those places. They're usually come in packages of 10. They sell them for about $1. Always get white. Get all the same hangers, especially white, because your clothes will look cleaner. Your clothes will not get dye on them from the hanger. If it's a dark colored hanger, like if you've got some tube hangers that are plastic and they're black or dark brown, I don't suggest you use them if your closet gets warm, because I've seen people's clothes get stains from the hangers on them because the plastic kind of melted and the stain went onto the clothes.
Yikes, that sounds not good. Not at all. Well, we have another question. Vicki Heath wants to know, what about clothes that don't fit? And I don't know about her, for you guys that haven't, Vicki's lost a lot of weight in the last year, so I'm imagining she has a lot of clothes. I've shopped Vicki's closet, but what do you think, Joe?
I want to shop Vicki's closet. I've seen her stuff. She's got cute clothes. But my rule on that is if it doesn't fit, it isn't it. Don't wear it. You know, this is the deal. If something is if something is too big on your body, it's going to make you look heavy. If something's too tight on your body, it's going to make you look heavy. Those are things none of us want. The clothing needs to skim our body. When we put it on, we should be able to button it and move within the garment like this. Be able to move the garment, just slide it, but you don't want a big, gappy, large area around it. What to do if it's a little bit too small? That's going to happen. And I do with jackets. A lot of times my jackets are smaller than what they should be because then they cut in more at the waistline. You don't have to be able to button your jacket up, especially if you're wearing a short style like what I have on today. Even a long one for that matter. There's no rules that say you have to be able to button the jacket up unless you're wearing it for warmth. I've also, now here's a little secret, I've worn skirts that are just a little too small for me, and pants. You can leave that buckle undone on a skirt in the back, like if the zipper doesn't go all the way up. If you leave it undone a little bit and your shirt covers it, I'm telling you all my cheat things now. If your shirt covers it, if you take and you just roll the front of the skirt a little bit, it will keep your hem even. Nobody will ever be the wiser as long as you don't see any lumps or bumps where you've rolled it. If it's a pair of pants and they're just a little bit too snug around the waist, I've actually used, there's a thing called an instant button for jeans that you can move your button over about an inch or so, and it's kind of like an earring button that you push it through your pants and it's got a clasp on the back. Or if you've got a hook on your pants, like I have on mine tonight, oftentimes if you look real close, I usually, instead of hooking it on the hook, I will hook it on a safety pin that's the same straight up and down slice, but I move that safety pin where I need it, so that hook's where I want it to be, and my shirt covers everything. You don't know. So there are ways of getting around clothes that don't fit. If you're only 5 to 10 pounds off on it, then I would say it's legal to keep it if you're trying to lose down to that. If you have lost the weight, I park the clothes in a closet for about 6 months just to be on the safe side and then let go of it. And I know some people might not agree with that, but I've seen a lot of my clients go up and down in weight. And if it's a really great piece, you don't have to get rid of it right away. Give yourself about 6 months leeway.
All right, last question. We do have a question, but I know you're going to get to it in the next section. So one question is, how can you find consignment stores?
I am the expert at doing that. This is what I love to do. It's when I go on vacation, I'm looking for the consignment stores. One of the things I do is I go through the phone book or anymore, I usually go online. And when you go online, Google women's consignment clothing. Don't just say consignment, because you'll end up with all kinds of other items, household items and things. The second thing I look at is I go through and I'll look at, sometimes I'll look at Yelp ratings or something like that, but more importantly, I go through and call the consignment stores, because most of them go out of business very quickly. There's a lot of them listed that are no longer there. The second thing I do is I call them as a prospective seller, and I say, what kind of clothes do you take? And if they say, well, we take Chico's and Banana Republic, and they start listing out brands that I like, then I know that if that's what they're taking, that what they're selling is going to be good. If I say, what kind of brands do you sell? And they say, oh, we have all kinds of designer brands. And yeah, well, that could mean anything. So if you ask them what they'll take, you get a more honest answer as to what they're carrying.
Good answer. I like that. All right, we have another question just came in. It kind of goes to next time, but I think it's a good one. It says, I want to lose weight and have some clothes that no longer fit, but I hope to get back into them one day. Should she keep them?
Okay, that is a very good question. Look at the style of clothing. Is it a classic piece? This shirt I have on right now is a classic tank. I've had this shirt for probably 15 years. It's got a lot of stretch to it. It's a little heavier gauge. Some things like that you can keep around for a while, and they're not going to go out of style. If it's thin, if it's starting to pill at all, don't keep it. It's not worth it. If you've earned it and you've lost the weight, you deserve something new. If it's something that's a real good piece that you love, like maybe a leather jacket, and you're only maybe a size or two off on that I probably would store, but make sure you store it and cover it with sheets so that it stays in good shape, because you don't know how long it's going to be there. But that is a very, very good point. Pants are a little tricky because we change shape as we get older. I know that's an epiphany, isn't it? Our rear quarters drop and our saddlebags get a little lower. And so pants are a little harder to shop for. You want to know a real quick, fun tip on how to find pants that fit without trying every pair of pants on in the store? Because like I said, I consignment shop a lot, so your styles are different. This is amazing. It works in about 80% of the cases. And for me, I think the best thing to show you this. You will not believe this. I think we did this, didn't we, when we were shopping together? Okay, she knows what I'm going to show you. So you take your pants. This is a pair of jeans that I have, okay? And you're going to take these jeans, keep them buttoned up, and you're going to do the Superman thing. Whip it around your shoulder, bring it together around your neck. And if you look closely, my hair's in the way here, this just meets together around my neck. Okay, I can hardly breathe here because I'm trying to hold it together, but you can see how close that is. Now, those pants, the waist on those pants fits me perfectly. It drops just a little lower than my belly button, but this is a great way to check pants out real quick and see if that technique works, so you don't always have to try those pants on. It saves my clients a lot of time in trying pants on that won't fit. If it's close or I'm a doubt, then I'll have them try it on. I never would buy a pair of pants without trying them on, but this is a good way to eliminate the ones you don't have to try on.
That's a good one. It didn't work for me. I'm in that 20%, I remember. But I have pretty thick thighs, so A pants is not gonna, I know a pant's not fitting me as soon as I get it up over the knee, if you know what I mean. So most 12s will fit, but not all. So anyway, we're gonna move on to our style challenge. So in this poll, we get one more poll today. This is, we're 2/3 of the way through. So what is your biggest style challenge? And you can pick two, only pick two. So is it knowing your best color? Is it adding accessories? Is it makeup and skincare? Or is it clothes that flatter your body type? And Jill is going to focus the rest of her talk based on whatever you guys vote for. So the rest of our webinar is basically you guys get to drive the topic. So let's see what we got here. Looks like 60% of the people have voted. So right now, clothes that flatter my body type is clearly the leader right now with 83% of the people voting. So there you go. We're almost 80% of the people have voted. So let's see. Anybody else want to vote? Doesn't look like it. All right, it's been open a minute. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, ending the poll. And so here is the results, everybody. If you want to look at them, we have 83% picked clothes that flatter my body type. Clearly the leader here. Next is adding accessories, then color, and then makeup and skincare. But before you start, Jill, one of the questions that we have is, somebody said, her name is Diane Enger. She said you did her colors 20 years ago, and she's now 58 and gray. And getting gray, she says. Will her original colors still be the same, or she get her colors done again?
She may need to get her colors done again. This was something that was very controversial when I started image consulting 35 years ago. They used to say, oh, once you're a season, you're always the same category for the rest of your life. Then about, 5 to 10 years into my career, I went to another big image consulting convention, and the push was teach people what their secondary colors are and their secondary season. Then, and probably the last 15 years, the big thing has been, we've come to the reality that people do change colors as they get older, and voila, we do. And not only our hair changes, but our skin color changes, and in some cases our eye color changes. My father's eyes went from dark brown to green, and I can see mine starting to transition that way. Our skin gets thinner as we get older. The thinner your skin gets, the more blue pink it gets. So if you were done as an autumn or a spring, so to speak, a warm category, you may have gone over to a cooler color, especially if your hair turned gray. Now, that said, not everybody changes. So I would say, yes, have them reevaluated. If I get to see you soon, please call me. I do updates with my clients that I did, especially those I did many years ago. I have an update program because that has been the issue, is a lot of people do change as time goes on.
Great. All right, why don't you go for that poll then? Tell us how to dress for flatter our shape.
Okay, one of the best things we can do to dress to flatter our shape is to find things like tunics that are light to medium weight. And a tunic, I'm talking something, well, let me pull this little number out here. You don't have to go animal print. But the idea is a tunic is usually about, it usually covers about 1/3 up to 2/3 of your body, depending on how long you want to go. I usually like the kind that just skim my thigh area, just cover my thighs a little bit, and pair something like this with a slightly flared pair of pants, or if you've got great legs, go with skinny pants and some high heels. These can be very, very flattering. Now, another point to watch for on that is the lines in the way it's made. One of my favorite lines for that is to look for stuff that's got ruching on it. This is what we call ruching. See those little, can you see those little gathers there on that dress? Okay, that ruching is a great camouflage for anywhere where you might be having just a little pouch that you're trying to cover up. This works great. Another thing that I do is if you're built a little bit more like Helen, where you've got a narrower waist and a fuller hip line, this is called a oh boy, I just lost my train of thought. A fit and flare dress, where it's a little more fitted on the top half, and the bottom's got a really flare, swingy kind of skirt, so it glides over the hip line. A-line skirts can be your best bet, especially if you have hips and thighs. An A-line skirt will glide over the top of that. When you do pieces together, always pair one fitted piece with one loose piece. If you're going to do a loose piece, you have to have one fitted piece with it. So if you're doing a loose, flowy palazzo pant style bottom or a flowy skirt, get a top portion that fits a little bit better, that gives you a little more shape on the top. If you're wearing a real full, billowy kind of a top, which a lot of them out there right now are that style, then you want to go with a more fitted type of slack. The best jeans that you can get to look great are usually solid color denim, nothing with a wash in it, nothing with the little, what I call whiskers at the hips, just a solid dark denim in a mini boot. Now you'll hear this a lot this year again. A mini boot is not as wide as a boot cut, it's not as narrow as a straight leg, but it is the most flattering cut you can get. And when you have your pants hemmed, hem them so the pants are at an angle. So the shorter end is in front of your leg, so that the pant leg hangs straight all the way down, and it's a little longer in the back by your heel. I usually try to hem my pants as long as possible because the longer your legs look, the slimmer your overall body's gonna look. And if that's the case, and I'm only gonna keep it about maybe even a quarter of an inch off the ground from the back of my heel. The front will be just a little bit shorter so the pant lays straight. To give you the longest, leanest line in your pants, press a hem in them. I don't care if it's your jeans or your dress slacks. Excuse me, not press a hem in them. Press a crease down the leg in the pants. And I don't know if you noticed this. Let me grab my jeans again. The jeans I showed you a few minutes ago, these are famous for those jeans. It holds the jean leg into my legs, and it gives you a very slim, clean line down the leg. So when you pull the leg into the, when you pull the jean into the leg by creasing it, you don't look taller and thinner. What else? Oh, for those of you who have a large bust, that is a pretty common problem, and one of the most difficult to work with is a large bust and maybe a little bit of a belly area. The secret is to, first of all, get a shirt that fits across your bust and that you can button, and then have the rest of the shirt tailored to fit you. And I know that sounds like an expensive thing to do, but if you're going to wear it, it's going to be the one you're going to wear because it fits you. So you're going to have darts put into it. Maybe you'll have the sides taken in a little bit. But the most important thing is you need that coverage around the bust, and that is worth paying extra to get it right. And so oftentimes I tell people, buy clothes that fit the most difficult part of your body first. So if your thighs are the bigger part, make sure the pants fit your thighs and have the waist brought in to fit your waistline. Because oftentimes a person with thigh issues will need a smaller waist put into the pants. If your waist is the thick part, get the pants to fit the waist and have the legs taken in so that that portion of the body fits. It's really rare that women can go into a store and find stuff that really fits their body perfectly. It's not a likely thing unless you're buying stretch pants. And I do have certain pairs that I love. I buy a lot of slacks at, of all places, Dress Barn. Now that's a national store. You can go find Dress Barns everywhere, but they have slacks that they call their secret agent pants, and they've got a little bit of stretch and some extra panels around the waist. And those, if you get them in the straighter leg, are some of the most flattering pants that you can buy.
So does that go with, we have a question, how do you conceal a belly?
Oh, well, okay, I've got a good, well, let me have Ebony help us, or excuse me, Ivory help us here. Let me bring her over. So let's say, for instance, Ivory had a little bit of a belly going on here. Let's get her dressed. So one of the things I suggest people do is to put together what I call accessory encores. And I'm going to include the jacket as part of the accessory. So we're going to put this lovely red jacket on Ivory. So I drape that over her shoulders. And this is a long jacket. It comes down to about the thigh area. It's very skimming. You can see it comes down on the body. Now we're going to add a bold necklace. We want to take the attention away from that waistline. So anytime you draw a lot of attention up here, it's going to distract from down here. You want to attract to distract. So we're going to put this nice bold necklace here. So that's one way of doing that. But I'm going to take it a level beyond that you might not have ever thought of doing, and that is to add to this. Let's see here. I don't know if I got enough light over here. I'm going to add to this one element that you probably wouldn't dream of doing if you have a weight issue in the middle, and that's we're going to add a belt. So I'm going to take this belt, put it around her waist. Let's see. What this does is it gives a point of definition underneath this jacket. Let's see here if I can lift her up so you can see this. Okay, so there she is with the belt going on. Now the jacket conceals how wide her waist actually is. The belt buckle needs to drop just a little bit and sit on that, how better can I say this? For lack of a better word, that pouch area that sits right there. And what that does is it'll conceal it and give the illusion that you've got a real thin waist, because who else is going to wear a belt like that anyway? Now here she is with the belt on. Let's see if this will show up here. If I take that belt off, she is losing her waistline, and oftentimes this will look puffier here. So wearing a belt can really be a benefit if you wear the right jacket over the top of it. Or this could be also excuse me. This could also be a sweater, more of a cardigan style sweater that just skims your body. So that is one great way to hide that waist weight without having to use a girdle or Spanx or something like that.
All right, so you did talk about the larger bust, but somebody has a large bust and very narrow hips. What would you suggest?
That's what we call the Linda Evans effect, where you've got the really broad upper body, and then you go into a V shape as you come down on the body. So again, consider your hips. That's the area where you can wear interesting things down in the pocket area. I might do some, what's real popular right now is the embroidering that you're seeing on jeans. I've seen some darling jeans that have really fancy embellished embroidering right at the hip line and down the pocket, sometimes down the leg. Get the person's eye to look down in that area. Show off what's good on you, and then play down the top area. And of course, you can always go with a slightly darker shirt or whatever if you want to on the top, but I just think that you still need a little bit of pizzazz up by your face, because too many people think, oh, I got to dress this down, and then they'll look real blah in this area. You still need a necklace. And up here, get that focus up out of the bust area and up to the face. Some great earrings will make a difference for that as well.
Great. All right, next up is, what about short ladies? What are some styles that will flatter someone that's short?
Okay, first of all, this will work for everybody, and that's called column dressing. It's what I did with Ivory here. She's got a beige shirt on and a beige skirt. I've got on a brown shirt. I've got on brown pants. I've got this elongated line all the way down of a single column of color. You can take that look and make a lot of different outfits with it, just if you focus on getting the same color shirt and the same color pant. Let me give you an example. So if I take off this and I get rid of this necklace, I can add on a completely different look. By switching my jacket, I could do this jacket. Still got that long line of color. I'm going to keep the jacket open so you can see the column of color coming down. I can add on a very interesting necklace. And if I want to, I can take it one step further and add a different belt. So I might do a belt that looks something more like this, and that's going to go on my waist. I'm going to take a couple steps back here and see if you guys can see this. Let me do a little adjustment. And this is a different outfit. Same column of color. Now this is, again, this is another what I call accessory encore that you can put together. You can do the same thing by maybe doing a completely different color combination. Here I've got a scarf and a necklace and a jacket, but I'll still have that long line of brown going up through the middle. Also, when you're petite, you want to make sure that the clothes skim your body. Do not wear anything that's wide or that has a lot of horizontal lines to it. The horizontal lines that you're seeing in the shirts right now are very, very boxy. You're going to see wide waistlines on a lot of the t-shirts and tank tops. Stay away from them. Any horizontal line cuts an inch of length off of that area of your body. So whether it's a cuff on a pant or a pair of shorts, that's a horizontal line. You lose an inch on your legs. If it's a pleated shirt that pleats this way, you're going to lose some length from your bust down to your waist, and that's going to shorten that area and make it look broader than what it actually is. So think in terms of going up and down. No matter how tall or short you are, that always is more flattering if you can think more vertically instead of horizontally.
All right, well, the questions are coming in now, Jill. So what about a double chin?
Oh, again, we want to refocus what people are looking at. So if you've got a double chin, one of the things again is maybe get the eye down a little lower and do what I call a statement necklace that hangs down more in this area, so they're not focused right here. Pop your collar, ladies. When you pop your collar, you elongate and narrow your neck. It's a very flattering way. If you're ever going to get your picture taken, good thing to do. Pop the back of that collar, even if it's just a little bit. Do your Elvis impression. It really pays off. The other thing is getting hair that is a little bit, that doesn't end right at the chin, but rather that might come in a little bit at that area, maybe goes more this length. If you've got short hair, a lot of times the eye will tend to go more in this area. So be a little careful with that. It's just talk to your stylist about it. She should have some ideas to distract from that area. Let's see, I'm trying to think if there's anything off the top of my head that I can tell you. The double chin is a little tricky though to do. Whenever you get a picture taken, put your chin up. That's one thing I learned.
All right, what about lovely saddlebags? I'm guessing they're thinking thigh saddlebag. I have saddlebags, so. What about saddlebags, Jill?
Thighs. No, they're muscular thighs. Anyway, okay, thunder thighs is what I call them. One of the problems that goes along with that oftentimes is hail damage to the thighs, if you know what I mean. If you've ever tried on a pair of white or light colored slacks, you can see little bumps underneath it. So one thing to watch for is to try to get your pants lined when you can. Thicker fabrics are actually good for that area. A lot of the stretch fabrics right now, they call them ponte knits. It's kind of like a heavier cotton knit with a little bit of stretch in it. That can actually skim real nice as long as they're not extremely tight on you and you still can get that crease coming down the leg. One of my favorite tricks is to take those pants and cut the pockets out of your pants. I do it with my jeans. I do it with my dress pants. Cut the pocket out and sew the pocket shut so you don't have that extra layer of fabric at the thigh area where you need more room to move around inside of those pants. Avoid anything that's got whiskering in the thigh area as far as the jeans go, any fancy pockets in that area. Again, you want to attract and distract. So attract the eye to your waist, because if you've got thighs, you probably have a nice waist. Keep your jacket. So, and I'm going to show you where my jacket comes. I'm going to adjust this just so that you can see something for a minute. My jacket hits. Now, oh boy, you can't see a good thing. My thigh goes in here and it comes out here. My jacket hits right at the top of that line so that you don't see that bump there where it comes out. It just skims the top of that. If you've got a short jacket on and tight pants, you're going to see a little deformity there. You're going to see a flat area and then sometimes an area that bumps out. You want to avoid that and keep your jacket down just a little bit further. So usually this is a pretty good length of jacket for the person who has a thigh issue.
I like that suggestion, keeping that's a good way to know, okay, this is not a good jacket length because it hits me right at where it hits us right where it indents. So it needs to hit after it indents. So,
well, and the other thing about that I should mention too is if you do have shorter jackets and you're saying, well, now I gotta get rid of all my jackets, don't. Just get yourself some shirts that come down and come to that point. So you're layering, so the shirt's hanging out. And I added a little like mesh ruffle around the bottom. I fill in that void too. Because we're also focused on how to accessorize, and we've touched.
You have to say what you just said all over again because it got all lost with internet connection. So whatever you just said, please repeat it.
Okay, when you froze on me there a minute ago, I was just going on to talk about, people were asking about accessorizing. Okay. And one of my favorite accessories to use, of course, is a scarf. I mean, that's why I did the DVD, 30 Ways to Tie a Scarf in 30 Seconds or Less, because it is possible to do that. And scarves are a real great way to draw attention away from those problem areas of your body. So if you're carrying weight in your waist, if you're carrying weight in your hips, sometimes it's just a matter of getting a scarf to draw the attention up to your face. And it can be the easiest way to do it. For instance, the scarf that I have on this dress here, I actually intertwined with a necklace. I don't know if you can see that black necklace on there. Let me take this off for a second and show you how this works. Because when you start getting creative with your scarves, that's when you start having fun. And one of the things I'll do is I can take, you don't have to have this is a plain black necklace with some different sizes of beads on it. You can also do this with a pearl necklace and just intertwine it. But this is actually a long scarf that I have here. One of those, in fact, you can see how that's tied up. I'm going to do it with a scarf that's not tied. Give me just a second. There's one up here. Let's use this one. Okay, so the best scarves to work with, especially if you're in a warm climate like where you live, Helen, is a thin, filmy type of scarf like this. And the easiest way to do one of these is simply to wrap it around your neck once, bring your ends forward. And what this does is it gives a cowl effect. Cowl necks are usually very flattering for most body styles. When you get that cowl neck going on, you get a different line. And the secret is knowing where to end the cowl on the shirt. Let me take this jacket off so you can see this better, because I'm going to teach you one of my favorite tricks that I teach my clients, and that is to find your sweet spot to where your neckline should be, where your scarves can hang, and also where your necklaces can hang. And that is, look at the distance between here and here, the open part of your forehead. And if you have full bangs, you might want to measure from here to here. But I've got an open bang, so I'm going to measure from here to here. So I'm going to measure that with my fingers and my thumb. Now I'm going to bring that measurement straight down here. Okay, and this is usually where most of my necklines hit, is right where my thumb is at. But since I've got a little higher neckline on tonight, what I would do normally is adjust that just ever so slightly. I don't have cleavage, so I don't have anything to worry about something showing there. But normally that's the sweet spot that you're going to hit. And this works for everybody. Look at how long your face is. Take that same measurement, bring it down from your chin straight there, and you're going to end up with the perfect spot. Now, knowing how to put that scarf on, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to wrap that scarf around. I'm going to say, okay, how long do I want that to hang down? Okay, that's my point where the scarf should be. And I've got it hanging in the perfect spot. I can leave both ends down. I can take one end back and one end forward and give it a different flare that way. The more elongated it looks like this, the more elongated your body will look. The fuller it looks up here, if you're small chested, the more full your chest line can look. So there's certain things that you may or may not want to do depending on the type of body you have. But that sweet spot that we just showed you for the necklines also works for necklaces. So if you are wearing something that's got a high collar on it and you're thinking, where do I want my necklace to hang? You can hang it right in that perfect spot over the top of that collar as well. Then your secondary sweet spot is usually the midpoint between the bottom of your neck and where that other point was at. So for me, that's right in the middle of where this neckline hits. So that's where that necklace needs to be.
So Jill, I've been seeing you whip these necklaces off. You have added magnetic closures, I guess, to your necklace.
I do. When I wrote the book Out the Door in 15 Minutes, the whole point was how to dress simple and how to dress fast. And I ended up replacing most of my necklace clasps with either a very large clasp or the magnetic ones that I use.
Well, I think that's crazy. That's very cool. Well, we are about out of time, Jill, so I am so thankful. And again, you guys look for Jill's book that's out in March. I'm excited for it. Simply Smart Stylish is the working title. Any of us that are authors know, who knows what the title will be, but that's the gist of it. But she also, go ahead.
Can I just say that book is actually, the first one I wrote on how to dress simple. The second one I wrote on how to dress fast. That one is how to do it cheap. And they won't let me use cheap in the title. So it's how to look like a million without spending it, basically.
And Jill, what is your website? How would people get in touch with you? How do they find out about you? You have a newsletter, I know. Tell us how they get in touch with you.
It's simply my name, JillSwanson.com. And it's Swanson, just like the frozen TV dinners. And if you go to that and you happen to sign up for my newsletter, which only comes like maybe 4 times a year, I'm not going to inundate you with emails, that when you sign up for that, you'll get a list of how to go from frumpy to fabulous instantly.
Awesome. Well, that was one of our questions about frumpy. So that will work out well since we're out of time. I just want to thank Jill and all of you for attending. We really appreciate it. Anybody that you will get an email tomorrow sometime with a link to watch this again and share it with whoever you'd like. It'll be on our YouTube channel. And you can go to YouTube and search for First Place for Health. For our channel, all of our past webinars are on our YouTube channel. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jill. Have a blessed day.
Okay. Thank you.